Hi, my name is Michael, and this is the word the Lord has given me for everybody. I was reading in Luke chapter 7, verse 44 through 50. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered to thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she hath washed my feet with tears, and wiped them with hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss, but this woman, since I came in, hath not ceased to kiss my feet. Mine head with oil thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loveth much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. And he said unto her, Thy sins are forgiven. I'm on a swing, that's why everything's shaking. And they that sat at the meat with him began to say within themselves, Who is this that forgives sin also? And he said to the woman, Thy faith has saved thee, go in peace. And I believe that what God wants to say is that it doesn't really matter what a person's done in their lifetime. What matters is faith. What matters is belief in God. And what matters is coming to Him. This woman, she came to Him in faith, and so did the Pharisee. The Pharisee also came to Jesus in faith. He said, "Yeah, come over. We'll have supper or something. We'll have a bite to eat. Come on over." But there was a big difference. The both of them had faith that they needed to be saved. One's inviting Jesus over to eat, which is nice. He's making food for him and everything. But there was another who was well known for her sin, who also came to Jesus in faith. But the love that she showed was greater than the love that the Pharisee had shown. And coming to the Lord is the most important thing. And it doesn't matter how sinful a person is. In fact, as you can see by this, those who have sinned more show more love. They have more experience, more layers. Of course, that means, more that needs to be healed, more that needs to be restored, more that needs to be rebuilt. But God will rebuild you with precious stones. All that you need is faith and trust. God will provide all your needs according to His riches and glory in Christ Jesus, but where is your faith and your trust? Do you pray for everything in your life? Or do you try to make things happen by your own strength? Are you worried? Or are you resting in His finished work? Are you enjoying your life? Or are you stressed out? Joy is only something that we have when we're free from stress and worry and fear. And there's different ways to do that. It's not just, that you have the Lord's joy. There's other ways too. Worldly ways, fleshly ways, or, sometimes there can be joy from just doing what you want, receiving what you want. A longing fulfilled is a tree of life. But God gives the oil of joy. The joy of the Lord is your strength. It is His joy that He gives to the people who trust in Him, who give their lives to Him, their family, their finances, their struggles, their pains, their sorrows. I was in church and I was loaded down with hurt and other things. And normally, at church, I would just enjoy myself in His presence and enjoying God and everything, and I would just be there for what God could do for me, basically. And He could do a lot. It's an amazing experience to encounter God. But this time it was different. I was really praying for everybody that was there at the church, and I was praying for the pastor, and I was praying for everybody, even though I felt terrible. And I just gave myself to God, and I just trusted Him. I trusted and believed that He will take care of me. He will take care of my needs. I don't need to get that met. I don't have to struggle to get that met in Him. That's not what His promise says. His promise says, trust in me with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge me, and I will make the path straight. Come to me, you who are weary and heavy laden, I will give you rest. You don't have to give yourself rest. You just have to come to Him. So there I was in His body, and I was just praying for people. But even though I did no effort to feel better, even though I just simply laid my life down to pray for others, He healed me, and He made me feel better, and filled me with joy. And this was not a joy that I asked for. This was not a joy that I sought for myself, or I wasn't thinking about myself. I was just praying for others. And God was just working really powerfully through that, and I felt joy, and I had an amazing day. I prayed for everybody. I prayed for the church. I had a real sense or feel of purpose and accomplishment, even though I personally did not do so much. But I had amazing encounters and conversations, and it was just really amazing. I mean, I think God really rewards it when we're serving Him. And I've gotten a little bit off of track with what I was saying, I think, because I've said so much about my own personal experience. But we don't have to worry. We don't have to do things in our own strength. We cannot muster salvation. It's something God gives. God gave her salvation according to her faith. He said to her, thy faith has saved thee. Go, your sins, which are many, are forgiven, for you've shown much love. It's really simple. Salvation is not something that people can work for. It's not something that people can attain. Joy is not something that people can work for, or something that people can attain. All the things of God's Spirit are from Him, given from Him. All we have to do is come to Him, give Him our worries, give Him our troubles, everything that's weighing us down. We have so little strength. Yeah. I'm just thinking about colleges and stuff like that. The world tells us if we want to be successful in life that we have to go to college. We have to have the papers, the right things. But that's not God's way. That's the way of the world. That's the way of the devil, who's the leader of this world. Colleges are filled with the sororities and fraternities, which are dating back to satanic type origins. Okay, so a lot of them aren't openly worshiping the devil, but they have their ties to the occult. And a lot of times, if you want to be successful, you have to be part of those ties, because it's the world. They say it's about who you know and everything. So those are two ways. You can take the hand of the devil through sororities, fraternities, college, Not that everyone that goes to college is taking the hand of the devil. I mean, it does take learning to, to achieve. But, these things that we've been taught is so important is flesh. It's the world. It's temporal. What we really should be learning is how to love, how to come to Jesus in childlike faith. It's like these things are forgotten. Responsibility is not so easy. It's easy to worry when you're responsible for others. It makes it much easier to worry if you're only responsible for yourself. If you're single, if you're only responsible for yourself, then it's a lot easier to not worry, to be free. But when you're responsible for others, it's really easy to worry and stress because you've got to take care of those people. But we need to also be able to give others to Him. Every situation. Sometimes I don't know how it's possible. I couldn't do that in my time in marriage. I'm still not sure how to do that. I couldn't manage that, but that is really necessary. And when you can do that, then you can really have rest and peace. Jesus was able to manage somehow to do more things in 3 years than what could be recorded in all the books in the whole world, according to John, the last verse. But He was able to do so in rest in the Father. I think we should all pray for how to do that, because it's something only God can give. But coming to God is really the most important thing. It's where love and faith meet. And it's something that the world doesn't teach, and it's something that needs to be taught by His body. It doesn't matter if you've sinned lots or sinned little. In fact, neither is better, but those who have sinned more love more. Can also be that, sometimes we don't realize just how sinful we are, how much we've been cleansed of. But, if someone's righteous in their own eyes, sometimes it just takes a little more humility, but the important thing is coming to Jesus. Her sins were forgiven, not because of anything that she's done, because she did so many horrible things. The Bible says that she had committed a lot of sin. Jesus Himself said her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she has loved much. It doesn't matter how much sin a person has done when they come to Jesus in faith. It takes faith to come to somebody. Even though He was there in the physical, it's as though He were just like today, where you can't see Him, like He came to His own people, but nobody received Him. Isaiah the prophet said, he said, like, blind their eyes so that they will not see, stop their ears so that they will not hear, and their minds that they will not comprehend, so that they will not turn to me to be healed, says the Lord. So even though He was there, that you can see physically, He was there that you couldn't see spiritually if you were dead in sin. If you had no faith, it still took faith to see Jesus. to have a revelation from the Father of who he was. Peter said, "You are the Christ." And Jesus said, "Flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but the Father has revealed this to you." It always takes faith to come to Jesus. Everyone who came to Jesus was healed, forgiven, set free. They were healed by their faith. It took faith to come to him, to know who he was. The centurion came to him and he knew who he was. He said, "I'm not even worthy that you should come into my house." The first miracle was the water into wine. But after that, the first healing in John was the centurion that came to his house, or came to him in the way. And Jesus said, "None of you will believe unless you see miracles, signs, and wonders." And this was the first thing he said, "Come before my servant dies." He knew who he was. How did he know who he was? Faith. That was a man who trusted in the Lord. Flesh and blood did not reveal to that man that Jesus had the power to heal, because no healings had been done to that point. Healing was rare before the time of Jesus. There were a few prophets that healed, brought back to life. But with Jesus, it just changed, became more common. In his time, he healed many. And since then, his disciples have healed many. More than he did, I think, because it's been 2,000 years. And his disciples live on still by faith. And, I've lost my place a little bit, I'm sorry. But those who come to him, they receive the promises. They're like Martha. He said, Mary has chosen the greater thing, and it will not be taken from her. There are those who are busy and worried with many things, like Martha. And then there are those who are at the feet of Jesus, Mary. When you're running a family, it's hard to just be Mary. The baby needs to be changed. Bottle every 3 hours, or the breast. The dog needs to go for a walk 3 times a day. The kitty litter needs to be changed once a day. Fish tank needs to be cleaned once a month or once every 2 weeks. The children need to be fed 3 times a day. The children need to be taken to school 2 to 4 times a day. And the list goes on and on and on. Wash needs to be done. Dishes need to be done. Floors need to be done. Trash needs to be taken out. The list just goes on and on and on. It's really hard to rest in the Lord with all of that. It's hard to be a Mary in all of that. There's a way, I know there is, but I can't say what it is. To be able to rest while you're busy. To give everything to him while you're busy. It's so much easier when you're out alone to have rest. Like I am in hormones. It's so much easier in his creation where it's still. Where you can see the beauty of God all around. Where you can see the beautiful beauty of God all around. So much easier to have rest. Yeah, I'm here because of my failures. Not that I'm a failure. Not that I should feel bad, because there's no condemnation for me. But I did fail to do these things. And I was stressed and burdened with many things. And now I'm back to the basics, to the feet of God. And yeah, my sins which are many are forgiven, at the feet of Jesus. Some people let condemnation get to them, and that's the devil. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. That woman didn't listen to that voice. That woman didn't think herself a failure or too unworthy to come to the feet of Jesus. God showed her who Jesus was. She came to him in faith. She showed him love because she knew the type of man he was, and that God had provided a way for her to be forgiven. And by the love that she showed, by the gratitude, it's all in gratitude, when you have that revelation of what God has done for you, the love that he has for you, the gratitude that she showed for the many sins that she had been forgiven was enough for, the foolish things in the world shame the wise, and the weak things, the ones that are strong, and things that are not, the one things that are. And as a result, we got a vision of, even the chief of sinners can be saved at the feet of Jesus. Even the sick can be healed, and the demon-possessed set free at the feet of Jesus. It takes faith to come to him. It takes a relationship with him. Love and faith are connected. It first starts with a relationship with the Father. Jesus said, all those who the Father gives to me come to me, and I will not turn any of them away. But, all of those disciples, everyone who he chose, already had a relationship with the Father. Peter, he said, I'm a sinner, go away. I love Peter. A really bold guy. And, in the end, Jesus said, Peter, do you love me more than these others? And he said, yes. You know that I love you. You feed my lambs. So out of love for God, he did the things of God. And he was the rock in which the church was built. It was those words, you are the Christ. The words that were given to him by the Father. And Peter wasn't perfect. He also used words from somewhere else, but those were the words with which our faith is built. You are the Christ, the revelation that comes from the Father. So the word is that come to the feet of Jesus. And pray to the Father. That's the only way to come to the feet of Jesus, is by that relationship with the Father. Prayer, getting to know God in his word. I believe that all the people who came to Jesus were active in his word. Everyone who was baptized in the Jordan by John, confessing their sins, they were the ones that came to Jesus, but those who didn't, including the Pharisees, did not. So you also have to get rid of your sin, and you do that by confessing your sin to God, asking his forgiveness, praying to him, having a relationship with him, and he will show you his Son. You won't have to do the effort. He will reveal him to you, and then you have a chance to be at his feet. So it really takes that relationship with him, and I think that's also how you are able to manage in your responsibilities, that you have that strong connection and tie in relationship to the Lord. I don't know how, I'm recently divorced, and I don't know how I could have done it different, but I am here now at the feet of God, and I know that I'm forgiven. And I believe that I'm showing him more love than I have in the past. So even though I feel bad, I can't let that stop me from coming to his feet and from spending time with him and being busy with him. So I'm going to leave that with you today. That it's all about Jesus. My battery's going out, but God bless you.